Darren's Air Conditioning Services. Professional services at affordable prices. They have air-conditioned units starting at $2,100 with installation. We supply Lennox, Pioneer, Infinity, and Comfy units, all at unbeatable prices. Servicing of a 12,000 BTU at only $150. Don't forget to check them out on Facebook and Instagram. So contact Darren's Air Conditioning Services at 749-8245.
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. First of all, let me say thank you to all of you who survived the meandering nonsense of the person who spoke before me. I'm not going to maintain this tone of voice for the whole press conference, but I thought I should use his intonations and his tonality so as to offer PNM trolls something to hold on to. The Prime Minister meandered all over the place in his Blame the World press conference. He blamed everybody. He blamed Billy's birthday party. Conveniently forgot best friend's wedding, best friend's daughter wedding, the weekend that precipitated the spike. He said to the nation that proper lawyers are guiding him now, which I take to mean improper lawyers have been guiding him from before, which explains Faris Al-Rawi in the position of Attorney General. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, are now waiting to hear that Faris Al-Rawi has been fired, finally, long overdue, but fired for being an improper lawyer. Let me bring my own voice back. Because Keith Rowley just told the nation that his proper lawyers have told him that police could come in your house and break up Granny birthday party. Before, and the Commissioner of Police told us, his lawyers said, no, that's not the case. So we're waiting now for the clash of the lawyers. I don't know if any of the journalists or media operatives present at the Prime Minister's meandering press conference asked him, how is it possible that we could have run for 13 months on improper advice, where the Attorney General himself could have broken the law? The Attorney General is the chief steward of the nation's law, the defender of all laws. He is the advisor. He is the legal advisor to the cabinet. I want to remind the Prime Minister that judges never tire of telling people who appear before them that ignorance of the law is no defense. So Best Friend's wedding broke the law. And every single person who was present at Best Friend's daughter wedding broke the law, if your proper lawyers are correct. And if your proper lawyers are correct, everybody who was at Voices Arm Wrestling Olympics, including the Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi, need to be charged for breaking the law. This is what the Prime Minister, I just want to give you other people's opinions. And if you want to send to me on 682-2110 your question, I'll read your question and I'll answer it on air to the best of my ability. 682-2110. Joke and fun aside, we're getting into the serious things now. But I just want to say, for someone who just had COVID-19, the virus that's causing them to shut this country down more, Rowley looking marvelous. He looking well. He looks like somebody who just had a 3-week holiday in Tobago. He don't look like somebody battling the most vicious virus in the world. He, 71-year-old him, with his ravaged heart being held together by duct tape, science, and God, he had a COVID-19 experience that didn't send him on any life support, any ventilator. He needed no medical intervention. He had a 3-week holiday in Tobago, and then he was tested negative. Now I want to know, serious questions. Of all the people who have COVID now, Terence Dial Singh, I wish I could imitate that TV6 journalist who told you, I'd like to give you the opportunity to revisit your answer. You see, that is the kind of journalist we need in this country. Uvashi, that's her name. But I want to ask some serious questions now. Of all the people who tested positive on your list that you used as a reason to shut the country down further, how many have the same COVID light as Keith Rowley? How many people are in hospital? How many are on ventilators? Have we contact traced these people as yet? How many cases were traced to a restaurant? How many were traced to a church to justify shutting down the restaurants and the churches? How many were traced to Keith Rowley himself? How many were traced to the person who gave Keith Rowley COVID-19? How many were traced to the Tobago frolic? These are the questions that the media should have asked at that press conference, because we need to know. If shut the gyms down, I want to give you the list of what they shut down. Are we going to keep it tighter? We're going to keep it tight today, is it? We're going till 5. Because we don't want to be accused of keeping people back from running to KFC to buy their last chicken before we enter into the Prime Minister's well thought out, hasty overreaction to nothing. Ronald Bowler posts, the authorities failed in monitoring and enforcing public health regulations for more than a year. The public is now blamed for this incompetence. And that's a fact. Because the Prime Minister, and I will never stop saying this, the Prime Minister is the easiest person to contact trace. Keith Rowley, no matter who you're with, special branch by law, this is not a favor to Rowley. This is the law of the land. You're the Prime Minister. Special branch, even if you're lying with 2 little vennies on the beach, special branch have to check out the vennies. This special branch work. So I don't understand yet how the Prime Minister got COVID-19 the day he was supposed to get his vaccination. How he got COVID-19 and special branch cannot furnish the liaising and Parashram with the list of people that the Prime Minister was in contact with. Because he's the easiest person to contact trace. There are documents that have to be filed. That 8:30 this morning, Lekoto Jambi met with so-and-so. Let's give you special names. So, you know, like the eagle and the swallow and the sparrow, there's Lekoto Jambi. Lekoto Jambi had a meeting with so-and-so this morning. Lekoto Jambi went to the mall this afternoon. Lekoto Jambi took a dip at Pigeon Point and met with people. All of those people, you see, if Special Branch don't rub down everybody who come to meet with the Prime Minister, then it'll be too easy to do him harm. And they will be in trouble. It's their job to protect him from harm. And as of today, we still don't know who gave Keith Rowley COVID-19. Faris Al-Rawi, who was in touch with a positive person, isolate himself. Even though he was vaccinated 2 weeks ago, it doesn't matter because the tests don't work, because you could get tested and it be negative and you still be positive. You could get a vaccine, and the vaccine job is not to cure COVID, and the vaccine job is not to prevent COVID. The vaccine job is to make certain people rich. Rowley say they have conspiracy theories. The reason they have conspiracy theories, Keith Rowley, is you and some people in the media in Trinidad and all over the world are using COVID-19 conveniently and sharing information that you want to share and leaving critical thinkers in the dark. Did they, in your 50,000 people, because I remember when you said, Keith Rowley, all it will take is one fool. You turned out to be the fool. You said Trinidad was doing well with COVID-19, and all it is going to take is one fool to spoil that. Guess what, Keith Rowley? You are that fool. When the journalists asked you about taking responsibility, you resorted to that old trope and to link it to Kamla and the UNC. Nobody interested in the Keith and Kamla game anymore. Nobody will take that on. Stop that nonsense. We want to know, when you took 50,000 people to Tobago, the South Beach of Trinidad and Tobago, because the people in THA did a fantastic job of keeping Tobago. That wasn't by accident, you said. You said the people in THA kept Tobago COVID-free. So everybody should come and frolic in Tobago. You took them there. You caused this spike. You and your Minister of National Security, who are allowing Venezuelans and others to come through this country's porous borders at will. I have video clips of your new Minister of National Security saying it cannot be an illegal person, and the Minister of Health saying it is not traced to any foreign person. So then that means the Brazilian variant appeared in Trinidad and Tobago magically, like the rest of these COVID cases that conveniently are spiking now. And I don't care about the people who defend you and the nonsense you speak. This is not for them. This is for the rest of the people in Trinidad and Tobago that this is not adding up for, that want answers, damn it. You say, what is your job? I want to finish tell you what is your job. Your job is to come straight to the public and tell them the truth. You're not doing that. You are giving them pieces of a story that's not adding up. You got COVID at your age with your ravaged heart and all that drama, and you're still okay. So why the rest of us must panic? Why? I don't understand. Faris got tested. He was negative, but he isolated because he was deep in with somebody who is COVID positive. Are they isolating everybody else, or was that contact limited to Faris? Did they isolate your special branch detail, the whispering crew, the members of cabinet and the finances that always are around you whispering? They were very close and deep in with you. Did they get isolated for 2 weeks like Faris is doing, or are they all irresponsible? And these are the questions that people want answered because it's not making sense. None of it making sense. So you come and you talk nonsense about Billy birthday party and your proper lawyers, but you're not realizing all that does is open the door for more questions to be asked. And you could continue to try to ignore us, friend. I'll tell you this. You could stunt for them. You could keep stunting for them with your nonsense. But at some point, the people of Trinidad and Tobago are going to get fed up of you. And you are going to be responsible for that. You have a duty to safeguard this country. And if there is a pandemic in Trinidad and Tobago, tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago what steps to take to protect themselves. But you just shut down the economy, a significant part of the economy, without telling people all those little KFC workers and Royal Castle workers and Church's Chicken workers and Pizza Boys workers and Subway sandwich artists and TGI Fridays people, all these Barrios Pizza and Joe's Pizza and all of these restaurant workers that you just sent home without a salary, without a wage. They have bills to pay. They have rent to pay. They have food to provide for their children and their families, which is why they do those disgusting jobs in the first place. Because nobody wants to grow up and work in KFC or Royal Castle, but you have bills to pay, so you do it. But now that you've pulled the rug out from under them, Keith Rowley, because you are so accustomed to eating in Trotters and Adams, you may have forgotten that the average person has to pay the bill when the bill comes. You don't know what that is like. Other people paying your way. Other people paying your bills. But these average little people, they don't have that. They have to pay for the things that keep their families alive. And you just took that from them. Like you all continue to say, all of us in the same boat. We're not all in the same boat. We're in the same storm. But you're in a different kind of boat. You and your 1% friends in a totally different kind of boat. You're all in a yacht. They have people serving you food. They have people responsible for taking care of all the necessities that go to make up your life. But to those little people that you just pulled the rug out from under, Keith Rowley, Prime Minister, you did that today. What are those people supposed to do? Kill themselves? What are their choices? Line up by Living Waters to beg? Did you think this through, Keith Rowley, when you came to stunt for the people of Trinidad and Tobago and pretend you knew what the hell you're talking about? Did you? Did you think this through? Because now all of those people are in mortal danger, far worse than COVID-19. Did you think it through? Did you think about the movie cinema companies who trying to survive and keep their employees working? You just pull them out again. You just destroy them again. Did you think it through? Keith Rowley. The press conference that you need to have as Prime Minister should outline to all the people whose lives you just upended. All those workers who you just pulled the rug out from under, because every time a business closes, and businesses closing at record levels in this country, because your Ministry of National Security, of which you are the head of the National Security Council, have failed to secure a rock in the sea. So cocaine and drugs and human trafficking have been passing all through this pandemic. You didn't interrupt those things. Those things happening normal. Your national security apparatus that you, as Prime Minister, are responsible for. When you sit down in cabinet and whisper with Stuart, and Stuart whisper back, now you're going to play whisper games, I assume, with Hines. You're all supposed to be whispering how the hell you're securing the nation's borders. So that COVID-19, because we were shut down. When I asked Delia Singh, when he started to fool people about the second wave, and I asked him, where is the second wave supposed to come from, Terence, if we lock down 6 months now and the borders closed? Where? And people have been asking that question since. Where, if we had zero COVID, and you referred to it today, for 4 months, we had 0 cases of COVID-19 for 4 months. In this country, 3 months before you open the airports. Where are these COVID-19 cases, especially the 3 Brazilian variants that the vet find for you Is a vet, I understand, advising your Minister of Health pharmaceutical sales rep. But where did they come from? You have to answer. Urvashi tried to pin this man down. He is receiving the salary of a Minister of Health. He could be masquerading. That is misbehavior in public office. If he cannot do the job, is he qualified to do this job? Is Roshan Parashram qualified to do this job? You need more than a medical degree, you know. You need understanding. You need critical thinking. You need to be able to plan. We've been doing this for 13 months. We are two rocks in the sea. If we locked it down for 13 months to the point where unless you're the offspring of a government minister who died, the rest of you all had to stay outside and sell bottles to live. We locked it down so tight that our citizens can't come home. So where did COVID come from? And that is the first question you have to answer. And if you cannot answer it, you need to fire your incompetent self, Keith Rowley. Because it is you who are responsible. Understand this, the quality of the food that comes out of the kitchen belongs to the cook. That's your job. That's your job. You've been responsible for the past 13 months. And if we successfully raided the Heritage and Stabilization Fund for the first lockdown that gave us the 4 months of no COVID so we could pat ourselves on the back and say that we were the best in the world, where did the new COVID spike come from? Where was that COVID waiting? Where? Was it brought into the country by one of these oil and gas platforms that they're just flying in and out and not telling anybody, they're not quarantining? Was it brought in by one of these 1%ers who children come for Christmas and leave and come back for wedding and leave and come in and go in, the mayor children who traveling back and forth? Would those people bring it? Was it your daughter and her friends, that whole gang that was allowed to come in ahead of citizens of the Republic that weren't allowed to? Keith Rowley, you have to answer these questions. And I know that you are enjoying the fact that our opposition is a waste of time. I know that you are enjoying the fact that Kamala Persad-Bissessar is on her last gasping breath, so she can't stand up to you. But I want to tell you, I am taking the responsibility for the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm asking you to answer to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, because you are paid by us. We pay you. Don't lose sight of that. Where did these cases of COVID-19 come from? First question. Where did the Brazilian variant and the doctor that said the 3 cases that exist were not in touch with each other? That means it is either it is falling from the sky, it's growing from the ground, or people just coming and going in this country as they please, except citizens of the Republic. Them, they stuck. They stuck in and they stuck out because they have to deal with one of your morons of national security trying to come home, while others trotting coronavirus, COVID-19, through the country at will. The second question that has to be answered of all these people, because it's easy for you to say 1 dead, 2 dead, 3 dead. Tell us who was morbidly obese, who were elderly, who were already on deathbed with cancer and heart disease. Tell us those things. Give us the ages. I know you're waiting for somebody young to die so that you all could say, don't take them on, look at 17-year-old. But tell us the numbers now. You could keep the identities. Give us the ages, the comorbidities, so we could understand the people who died from COVID-19 would have died from influenza. They would have died from dengue fever. They would have died from just about anything that blow wrong in the breeze because they are that age and they are that stage of their vulnerability. And any doctor worth his salt could tell you that. The numbers do not lie. But it seems that the government does. The cases that we have now, Keith Rowley, how many of those cases were COVID light like yours? How many of them was COVID breezy like you went through? How many? and how many are serious cases that are in hospital. We're talking about curves. They have no curve here to flatten. None. If none of the people are on ventilators. You talk about India, what's going on in India. If India's public health system is failing in India, that is not a threat to Trinidad, but remind Trinidadians that the numbers in India still, out of a population of 1.4 billion people, 1,400 times the population of Trinidad and Tobago, that their COVID cases are still 0.06%. And I know that those behind this virus need people to drop dead in streets, so India was the best choice to have them drop dead in the streets. But at some point, we're going to have answers for all of that. But right now, the only thing we're concerned about is Trinidad and Tobago. And we're not there. And we don't have that problem. And if you were doing a proper job, properly securing the borders of this country, we would never have that problem. So what exactly are we doing now? You've just further destroyed the economy for a stunt. Because nothing you said today adds up. We're going to take a break for some ads. And when we come back, we're going to be taking calls and we're going to be reading WhatsApp messages into the record so that citizens have their voices heard. We're going to make sure for the duration of this 2-week, 3-week, whatever the stunt is, that every single day we will bring all of the information. We will get information from public health and bring it to the public. The information that the Minister of Health and the CMO are hiding from the public, I will get it. And I'm calling on people, if you have information, I always protect my sources. 682-2110, WhatsApp me, and let's keep the country informed when we come back.
Unique Woodworking Trinidad Limited and Unique Lumber Guyana Incorporated are premium manufacturers and exporters for high-quality wood and steel doors, bifolding sliding and pocket door systems, operable louver shutters, hardwood floors, staircases, and decks. We specialize in bank counters, office furniture, cabinetry with granite countertops, and over 500 architectural molding designs. We provide complete outfitting for hotels, resorts, hospitals, banks, tertiary institutions, condominiums, and residential projects. We also supply kiln-dried greenheart, mahogany, cedar, and teak lumber locally and regionally. Our logs are cut and shipped by Unique Lumber Guyana and properly dried in our computerized kiln at our factory's facilities in Trinidad. For over 32 years, our products have been standing strong, and we are committed to providing after-sales support. Visit our showroom or check out our website at www.uniquedoors-tt.com. It's the quality that makes us unique.
More nonsense to bring to you. According to Priya Bihari of AZP News, PM says, one dose better than none. Now let me explain this to you. So to those of you who taking the nonsense that's coming out of this government, let's talk about all the things that they're telling you, okay? You could have COVID but have no symptoms. You could have COVID, have no symptoms, get tested, and test negative. These are the things that they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you could have no COVID, but isolate yourself because it could spontaneously combust into COVID over the course of 14 days. They said that if Faris Al-Rawi took only one dose of his 2 doses, that's why he isolated, because he needs the 2 doses for it to be complete. But they said that even if you have your 2 doses, it don't protect you from COVID, and it don't protect you from spreading COVID, and it is not a cure for COVID. So I still don't understand what is the purpose of the vaccination, that we are rushing to vaccinate the world if it doesn't cure it, if it doesn't prevent it, and cannot safeguard it. But now they're saying that they were holding 38,000 doses to second dose. Those who already get vaccinated, they're going to use those second doses as a first dose, because one dose better than none. Every single day the goalposts moving, every single day the nonsense changing. And I can't help you anymore if you are accepting the nonsense that's coming out of this government, because I am very upset that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to be putting up with this. One of the people who wrote in, and I'm going to assume he don't want me to call his name, hope banks freeze interest on all loans, mortgages, and overdrafts. Now, to the small people we talked about earlier, landlords need to freeze rent. And how are landlords going to freeze rent if landlord owe a mortgage? It comes down to the banks. And the government has the authority to nationalize the banks. If this is a pandemic that is as serious as it is, that you could put people in this kind of situation where people are losing their minds, losing their homes, losing their families, they're going to be losing their lives. If the banks are not willing to work with the government, because the banks have been making billions of dollars in this country for decades. Every single bank in this country publishes quarterly profits in excess of $1 billion. And the banks now have to help us through this pandemic, because the banks need to freeze. And when I say freeze, stop. Don't add any more interest. Don't do it for 3 months and then 3 months down the road tell the person you have these 3 interest payments that overdue and you have to pay them now. That's not what we're talking about. The banks have to stop, and the government has to stop taxing the banks. Everything, every statutory requirement right now stops, because you've stopped the economy. So you need to stop all of the responsibilities of those who are playing in this economy, because we need landlords to hold their hands on rent. And the only way that we could do that by law is to tell landlords you have no mortgage to pay and you have no extra interest to pay. So the state has to work with the banks or nationalize the banks. Because if you don't take that kind of drastic action, you will be responsible for the deaths of a lot of people in the future. So to the person who asks, I hope the banks are freezing all interest on loans, mortgages, and overdraft. I hope so too. The next thing we have to talk about here is food banks and hampers for the exposed in society. If we cover them, no rent. The state should have said, as of today, it is illegal to charge rent. And as of today, you have no mortgage to pay. No rent, no mortgage, for as long as this stunt taking place. No TNTech bill, no gas bill, no flow bill, no B-Mobile bill, no bills, none, no WASA bill. The state is responsible now to run as a nanny state, protect everybody. Because the people who weren't relying on you before, who were going about their business, doing their jobs and paying their bills, you took that away from them. You have to replace that with something. Stop all national bills. Electricity, water, phone, internet, cable, all. Pause. And all of those people, get them tax-free for now. Free them of all expenses from the state. The state has done this. The state has to take the hardest hit. So we get to say to the people, you have no rent to pay. You have no phone and no lights and no water bill to pay. You could take 3 weeks. That's easier to handle. And then organize food banks throughout the countries using the members of parliament's office and the local government offices, and make sure that you can identify all of the people, the 30,000 people per constituency on that list, and find those most exposed at the bottom rung, the minimum wage earners, and make sure that you could give those people some food to get them through this 3 weeks. Basics, flour, split peas, oil, salt fish. Work with the farmers who have crops in the field, buy up the crops in the field, and supply it to the public on a weekly basis through the MP's office and through the local government facilities. The state has to do that. If the state does not do that, The state has just victimized the population of the country that pays the salaries of the government through their taxes. And that is an insanity. And that is real governance. What I just said is real governance. You don't have to put no money in nobody's account. Just cover them. You don't have to give people money to go and spend by high-low and true value. Just make sure that people can get, they're treating a corned beef, they're treating a sardine, treating a tuna fish, a bag of flour, some oil, some split peas, get them through it. Tell WASA, everywhere, water 24/7. No. Everywhere, water 24/7. Tell TNTech, no bills, stick a pin. That's what you should have called today. Stick a pin. The banks and all the bills, so that the average little person whose life you just upended, they could be safe. And if you stop all the interest and all the mortgages, and if the business places don't have a liability to those employees, then those business places might be able to take the loss of the perishables that they bought to do their business. Maybe they will give it to the staff and say, look, we can't use this for the next 3 weeks. Take it home with you for the family, business owners, to the trotters, and all the other restaurants. KFC, yeah, we're taking calls. Anybody who asks if we're taking calls, the answer is yes on 682-2110. Call me anytime you're ready. All of the business places, the KFCs, the Subways, open up your freezers and your chillers, divide it among the staff. You're getting mortgage free, and they're not sending you no bills, no taxes. This is a window in time. It's like time has stopped. That's what the state should have done. And because the state has not yet done that, I am exposing Keith Rowley as a charlatan, a political lightweight, and somebody who has no business being in government. He does not understand what the average person has to go through to have a life. Are taking calls, are reading WhatsApps. The head of state, Her Excellency the President, the Prime Minister, the opposition leader, all members of Parliament, Speaker of the House, the Senate President, the Chief Justice, all judges, all magistrates, everybody employed by the state above a certain level should be on a half salary for the next 3 weeks. Half salary. We're in the same boat, feel the ride of the swells of the sea. If we're in the same storm, feel the wind and the rain in your face. Take a cut in pay. Go home and feel the loss of that. Although that's not really a loss to you all. But that's what should be done. A cut in salary across the board of every high-level public servant above a certain grade. Somebody said Rowley needs to take a step back and let a real man and leader run this country. I've been saying that for 6 years. All of the automatic deduction for loans that took place today should be reversed. The banks have a responsibility to the people. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Yes, hi, good afternoon. I'm listening to Mr. Alexander. And what we need to tell Keith Rowley is to resign. If you are the Prime Minister and you cannot secure the borders, he needs to resign. That is what he needs to do, because he cannot do his job. If you can't secure the borders, it's like having your home, and you can't secure your home as a man, then you need to leave, let your woman get another man.
That's draconian.
So he needs to resign.
You escalated fast there, but I understand the point you're trying to make, and you're correct. And I agree with you. He is responsible. He and his government has failed to protect the nation state of Trinidad and Tobago. He should have dissolved the parliament today and resigned. That's what he should have done. The biggest threat to Trinidad and Tobago is that government. Thank you very much for taking another call. Have a lovely day.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, you're live.
Was talking about WASA thing. We're talking about I lost my work in 2015 in WASA.
All right. I don't understand what you're telling me.
I sure you. I send you the paper who was work.
All right, but we're on a live
Yes,
show right now, so you need to WhatsApp me again, and I will call you after the show, okay?
Alright then, no problem.
Yeah, that's what we do as the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. In case you didn't know, the average person, they have nobody else to reach out to. No member of parliament, no system of government. There's nothing. There's nothing. When the wolf reach your door is when you realize there's nothing out there. There's nothing in the state of Trinidad and Tobago to protect you or your family when the wolf reach your door. That's the truth. We're getting good at writing draconian laws to take away people's human rights and to militarize the police and the law enforcement system. So we're trying at... Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hi, good afternoon, Phil. So my take on this whole situation is that the housing keeps saying that there's only one case of Venezuelan that is positive for COVID, right? Now, if I'm illegal in a country, I am not going to the healthcare system.
Of course not. But Rowley spoke about that today. Rowley spoke about the people, but he spoke about Trinidadians. But what I was hearing is the Venezuelans that hiding from the state they're not going in the hospital to test positive for COVID to get through the country. They're not taking that risk, and you're right.
Exactly.
The LC does not have the information. He does not have...
No, they don't understand the brunt of getting deported back to their country. They came here to try to make a living. And he wanted, as he came onto the TV, calling Trinidadians dotage. But he right, because people really dotage because they vote him back in. Right? And these poor people, as you said, these fast food outlets right now, yes, seem to have a long line. And what are these people, these employers, the employees going to do after tomorrow, after they collect their pay? As you rightfully said, rent, food, they have kids to take care of. What are they going to do? This man is the devil. Have a blessed day.
Thank you, my friend. I don't know if he's the devil, but he's totally incompetent and clueless. And he is fronting a band of contract mafia operatives who just interested in feathering their own nest. Nothing this government has done since it's come into office, not one of them has been something that benefits the average person in Trinidad and Tobago. We still don't know what this country is about. We still don't know. Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hi, good afternoon, Philip.
Yes, good evening, you're live.
Yes, sir. That video you posted yesterday showing 100 and something thousand plus signatures scared the pants out of the government. And the lockdowns will continue probably until the next election. We need to get used to it.
Thank you for that, my brother. Plenty of people are of that view. We're spiking in step with the people standing up for themselves. That's what's going on. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Alexander.
Yes? You're live.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the Prime Minister said that, he was asked a question about if you can have like food deliveries, and he was saying that, restaurants are closed. He was very, brief about that. I mean, in an economy like that,
He's a fool.
still allow.
He's a fool. They have 3 businesses that have started up doing food delivery that I am aware of that are doing well. You could have said restaurants could serve curbside. Restaurants could deliver. No in-person. You could have do that. You could have do drive-through. This was a ridiculous overcorrection, overreaction. It is stupidity. These people don't know what they're doing. They're masquerading as professionals, and they should all be fired.
I agree with you, because in this new economy where everything is delivery and done through online, I mean, he's exercising a very, dictatorship sort of attitude now.
He's clueless. He's clueless. This is thug politics. Thanks a lot for your contribution, my friend.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Yes, I'm calling from New York.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. What the government is doing about the people who get stuck abroad?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
Nothing. But what I want you all to do is organize yourselves and send a message to me. I want to represent all of you. And I'm saying it again and again, because the last time they went to the courts, they didn't go with proper information. So the courts get half the pie. The courts don't know that the people who telling them what they're telling them, not giving them the truth. So let's organize. Send me a WhatsApp and I'll call you back off air, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hello, good evening, you're live. Sorry about that. These people are clueless, incompetent. They are ridiculous. It is foolish. That entire press conference today was an abandonment of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. You just threw the most vulnerable people overboard. You just threw them under the bus. That's what you did. These are people who have elders who need medicine. Where are they going to get the money from to pay for it? What are you thinking? This was the most asinine press conference I have ever had to witness in my life. And I couldn't believe that the man stood up there like a smiling fool, telling this nonsense to the public, limiting which media has access to ask him questions. Because you're not getting serious questions being asked. Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live. When you call, listen to me on the phone, not on your device. There's a delay. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Yeah, good day, good day. Well done, well done. I just want to find out something. Where is the opposition leader? Everybody's saying things,
We have no opposition. We have no opposition. We have clueless government. The people of Trinidad and Tobago, all 1.4 million of us. We have to change all.
Something. We had to put somebody in because everybody just chucking things in the eye and nobody is standing up for me.
All of them getting paid big salaries. Thank you, my friend. Have a good day.
Yeah, all right. Well, blessed man, blessed man.
Hello, good evening. You're live.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
Tired.
I don't know what to say right now with this conference.
Yeah, turn off the device. Just listen to me on the phone because there'll be a delay.
Yes. Yes, so I don't know what to say right now. I want to know if the ministers are going to take a pay cut.
They have to. They have to.
I want to know
They have
if
to.
they're going to take a
It would
pay
be
cut
obscene if they don't.
thousands.
It would be obscene if they don't.
Thousands of people are going to be out of a job. They're going to be out of a salary.
Tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands of people. The government just put the largest cross-section of poor people in this country at risk.
Right? Curbside pickup. Or you could at least say, well, all right, the restaurants could have closed earlier, but there's no in-house dining. Who is going to pay all of these bills? Somebody please tell me.
Ma'am, send me a WhatsApp and I will make sure to keep you in the loop, okay? To the same number.
I am damn vexed right now.
You have every right to be. Every citizen should be.
Every one of them take a pay cut because thousands of people, all you're talking about, oh, we in this together. There are some people who are never in it. They never felt any negative effects.
Not at all. It's easy for them to talk. They could talk because it's not affecting them. But thank you. Let me take this other call.
Take a pay cut. They need to take half. I don't want to hear nothing while you take a pay cut because thousands of people are on the breadline and these businesses could close.
Trinidad.
Some people barely making it.
Well
Let
said.
me hear them talk now.
Well said, my
Shame
friend.
on you, Red Army. Shame on you, Red Army, for doing this to the people. I understand the measures, but still, thousands of people will not have an income. Later, let me let somebody... Oh my gosh, I just feel to cry right now. Later.
Hello, good evening. You're live.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Yes?
I have one question.
I hope I have one answer.
What is the criteria that is used to choose a Minister of National Security?
Different things. How much you contribute, how much your father contribute, or if you have the right face to fool the masses. Different things. It have nothing to do with competence in this country. We've never had competence be the criteria to appoint people. Maybe with the exception of Gary Griffith when he was Minister of National Security, and then Kamala fired him because he wouldn't toe party line.
And one more thing. In the history of Minister of the lawyer fellow,
Attorney General.
What do you call him?
Attorney General.
Attorney General. that any attorney general had collect so much money openly from the people of Trinidad and
No,
Tobago.
because they've gotten to the point where they don't care. They don't need to hide anymore. You know, they're literally using government office to feather their nest and be upset about it. Thanks a lot for your contribution. Hello, good evening. You're live.
Pleasant good afternoon, Uncle Phil.
Talk to me.
Uncle Phil, this is Opinion Box TT boy, Uncle Phil boy.
So you're doing a live on my live? That's cool.
Yes, no, well, I now done my life, but I come on your thing because your thing more important than my thing. So I come to support your thing. You know
Thank you,
where
my
this go.
brother. Thank you,
So
my
you
brother.
down to Phil. I just get a phone call from a parallel self in a parallel universe where you is a prime minister, where COVID-19 is going on, and he telling me everything nice there, you know.
Thank you for that.
Everything
my
nice
brother.
there, you know.
My brother, we have
Uncle
to
Phil.
fix it. My brother, we have to fix it.
Uncle
We have
Phil.
to fix it.
You just put the nation on lockdown knowing that so many poor people catching the tail. We are watching this morning Venezuelan nationals posing in a picture saying they make it to Trinidad. 2 pirogues came in with 25 people per pirogue. Half a dozen of them passed away because the boat drunk. The boat sank. Right? The next 25 make it and they are taking pictures, posing that they're happy to reach here. So we deal with 50, close to 56 people coming in per pirogue every other day, if so much. They're intermingling with the citizens, right? And then you're locking us down and blaming the citizens, saying we are responsible for the spike in cases that all you're manipulating because it's benefiting all your finances and all your private sector people, right? And at every turn, Uncle Phil, they're setting up things to make sure the 1% cover. So the avenue getting a whole upgrade. Muko Jumpy, Tantan, all them pavement you just be showing on Bar Road, you showing in Dego Martin. Don't need no update. But the avenue that just get paved the other day. We
You
going to
see,
upgrade
all
that.
the things you're talking,
Muko Jumpy.
all the things you're talking,
Fuck you.
no, but all the things you're talking demonstrates that you have an understanding of what is wrong with Trinidad and Tobago. What I want is all the people who have an understanding of what is wrong with Trinidad and Tobago to get on the same page. Because if we don't, we will talk till our next generation.
Uncle Phil, I don't know how to try to tell them this again, you know, Uncle Phil. I don't know what kind of brainwashing that was done to the people in this
But I
country.
think
over
suffering,
years.
I think
So you
hunger,
point out, you know.
I think hunger and suffering gonna wake them up. Thank you for this contribution, my brother. Stay strong.
Okay, sir, you enjoy your evening.
Hello, good evening. You're live. Hello, good evening. You're live. Hello, good evening. You're live. Call didn't make it. And listen, right now in Trinidad and Tobago, there are tens of thousands of people whose lives have just been upended by a clueless, heartless government. A prime minister who have no idea what he's doing, being advised by two clowns in the Ministry of Health. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So we have a situation where a nation that should have been secured and protected from any new COVID, that didn't happen. People walking in from wherever they need to walk in from, the Ministry of National Security, the Coast Guard. Where's the Coast Guard? I don't know. I can't answer you. But we have no Coast Guard. So the people getting to come in as they want. Let me take this last call. Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Good day, sir.
God, you took too long to say that. Good day. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Good day, Mr. Philip. Good day, and to everybody, all the viewers have been talk. The opinion box guy just asked, what is the brainwashing that happened to Trinidad and Tobago? And it's not about being hungry and thing. I ain't saying that you're wrong or whatnot. But if every day we hear the grandparents and people hearing the parents saying, great is the PNM, and they go believe it? And they go believe that they're great? But
You know,
nothing great about them.
At some point, you don't have your own life experience. You don't even get to watch the same granny and the grandpa and realize there are some PNM people who run away from Trinidad to live in the Bronx in New York City that's still talking great is the PNM foolishness, but they can't explain why they run from their own hometown. And it's things like that. They mind bend them. But I want to tell you something. The PNM's support base is now the minority in the country. The rest of Trinidad and Tobago needs to stand up and vote that out. And I want to tell you this
Exactly.
too. Everything that this opposition is offering is not good enough. There is nothing from the UNC that is attractive right now. We need to do better. Have a good day, my
So
brother.
true. One thing before you go.
Go ahead.
One question. What based on the public transport and the inter-island ferries and whatnot, we say the capacity would be reduced to 25% and 3 flights would be allowed to go from Tobago to Trinidad. What will happen to the maxi taxis and the taxis now since it have a reduction in the capacity in these bigger spaces? What will happen to us?
And
You
brother,
understand?
that's the point I'm making. Every single small person, every small business operator in this country has just been decimated by a government that don't even have a plan, they don't even have an idea. We don't understand what it is he was trying to accomplish because this accomplishes nothing. But anyway, send me a WhatsApp with your name, my brother. I want to add you to my list, all right? To my mail out list.
No problem. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, you're live. Hello, good evening, you're live.
Hello, good day.
Yes, hello, you're live.
Mr. Philip.
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, what I call to say, this man, the Prime Minister, the so-called Prime Minister, but they say in Trinidad, this man, you can't believe nothing he say, He went to take COVID vaccine, he decided not to take it, he had COVID just so, right? And now we lock down the country to get 300 and something people to stay alone. This man really ridiculous. I don't, this country are not coming back.
No, don't say that. I disagree with you. What is continuing is all of us that...
In this place, is that easy?
No, we gonna fix it from there. Thank you for your call, my brother. Thanks for your contribution. Mr. Prime Minister, while you are the Prime Minister, you have a responsibility. I'm going to close on this issue. I'm going to tell you again what you did not say in your press conference. I want you to call another press conference and tell the nation that for the duration of the 3 weeks or however long this stunt lockdown is going to take place, that you've spoken to the banks and you've stuck a pin with pressing pause, no interest, not deferred, no interest. If it is 3 weeks, it is 3 weeks of none. No WASA bill, no TNTech bill, no Flow bill, no B-Mobile bill, no bills. Nothing. No taxes. Everybody on a break. No mortgages so that the landlords could be no rent. Make it a criminal act to put people out of house now. Make that a criminal act. We have to safeguard the population, put things in place to make sure people could eat. That is important. Make sure that they could feed their families. That is important. Announce that you and Kamla Prasad Bisesa had an emergency meeting and led your teams. And you're taking a 75% pay cut because you've been rumping through treasury dollars for the duration of the pandemic. For 13 months, all of you all have been being paid full salary to do nothing. You have no work, no job, nothing. You went to frolic in Tobago. Show the people you give a damn and you care. Because if you don't, you're a waste of time. And I want the entire population to see you for that. I want every hungry belly. I want every mother and father who frustrated today to see you responsible. Fix it. You did this today. And fire Faris Al-Rawi. Because you said you are guided now by proper lawyers. Put one of the proper lawyers as AG. You want to stunt for the public? You think everybody foolish and nobody gonna call you out? Everything you did today was a waste of time. You did not identify a single objective that this is supposed to solve. You didn't put anything in place for any of the people you just threw under the bus. You need to fix that. This was an emergency edition of Plain Talk. Those of you who are not yet members of the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, please visit citizensuniontt.com or citizensuniontt.org. You could call us on 486-2888 or 471-2888. Both of those numbers, 486-CUTT, 471-CUTT. If you'd like to get on my WhatsApp broadcast to keep in the loop, send me a WhatsApp with your name alone, nothing else. Don't put hi, don't put bye, don't put nothing else. If you put anything other than your name, I have to delete it. It is just your name to 682-2110. You'll be added to the broadcast list. So because we want to keep people informed no matter what. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're on WhatsApp. If you're not on those platforms yet, message me. Go to the Philip Edward Alexander fan page, click like, click follow, click share, because that way we keep each other in the loops. I want to remind you, I'm wearing a candlelight movement because today we're counting petitions. We wasn't expecting this nonsense. And we're counting out the last of the petitions now because we're serving it on the 7th of May and we're calling the nation to a massive motorcade. 100,000, 150,000 people get in your car, put on your mask, sanitize, social distance, turn up your window and come to Port of Spain and witness. We are going to serve those petitions on the Parliament and instruct them that this is what the people want, to protect their girl children, their wives, their mothers and their grandmothers. So going forward from here, all of you who are upset today, channel that upset politically. This is a political time. All of the financiers of the PNM and the UNC playing politics, you know. It's time for you to respond politically. This country is yours. And you deserve so much better than this nonsense that's passing for governance. Until tomorrow, stay safe. Trinidad and Tobago.